guys, KRF60 here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the LVUR07 Kamen Rider Lazer Bike Gamer from Kamen Rider Ex-Aid. This is the 7th entry in the Level Up Rider series, and is Kamen Rider Lazer in figured form. So, let's get started. So to start off, we'll look at Kamen Rider Lazer Bike Gamer Level 1, and like with the other riders, I only find it appropriate to mention that the Level 1 body is only available with the LVUR01 Ex-Aid set. So, looking at him, you can start by looking at his head, which is quite a bit different from the other riders, in that while it does have the kind of cubified face, it doesn't completely fit into the space for the head here. It has a bit of a gap on the sides, but you can still see that it's still pretty well detailed. You can see he's got some nice blue eyes and goggles that look like motorcycle goggles. You can see some handlebars coming off the side of his head, and his hairstyle, which is a pink mohawk. It's a little bit segmented here in the middle because of this joint, but does make up for it by having a couple of bumps within the joint to represent the spikes of the mohawk. You got his chest plate down here, which has a blue color with a slightly different pattern than that of Ex-Aid. And you can see the two panels for the two weapons of his GACHAAN weapon. Additionally, in this mode, he's armed with the front armed unit and rear armed unit, which are definitely the biggest of the weapons that the level 1 riders can use. And also quite a bit heavy for this figure, so it does make the joints limp a little bit. But with the right amount of maneuverability, you can pose him a little bit. And definitely is a pretty cool looking level 1 form. And from the back you can see that the body looks quite a bit different compared to the others, and that's because of what he transforms into. So with that out of the way, it's time to level up. So, to start the transformation, first we're going to remove the armed units from his hands, and remove his chest plate. Then come around to the back and slide him upwards and outwards to remove him from the level 1 body. Just like so. Then, I'm going to take this piece down here and lift it up. So that's like that. Then take his face, lift it up like so. Take the chest plate and put it into this slot. Then unfold and connect these two halves like so. Then retab it in like so, so that the lower one face covers up the chest plate like this. Then take the front arm unit, rotate it in and fold in the handle, and pull out this section, and also turn and put in the handle for the rear armed unit. Then take what will be the front wheel and connect it to these two tabs. And take the rear wheel, connect it in here. Then fold down the kickstand. And here we have Kamen Rider Lazer Bike Gamer Level 2, where as you can see, he's transformed into a full-on bike. Taking a look up close, you can see that he's got a lot of yellow and silver with some black, as well as some black and silver paint. For the front, you can see the more compacted face for level 2, where you can still see the goggles and the eyes. And the mohawk in this case is fully formed. You got the handlebars over here, and the seat here. Then you can also see that he's got a molded on gamer driver that's opened up to level 2, as well as a molded on Kimo as a slot holder. Got engine down here, the front and back wheels, and the kickstand, as well as a couple of panels that resemble the 4 bunt steps on the chest plates. Now, being a bike, of course, you can't have somebody ride on him. So, in this case, we'll bring in Kamen Rider Ex-Aid. Just sit him down on there. Get his hands on the handlebars. And fold in his legs a little bit. And there we have Ex-Aid riding Lazer. Though you can see that the scale is a little bit off, since he does have a further transformation past this. But you can lift up the kickstand and then have Ex-Aid riding around on Lazer. And definitely is quite a nice combination, and honestly the colors pair up quite well with each other, since they've both got pretty bright and colorful color schemes that complement each other quite well. And past that, you can also kind of get an idea for his next transformation with some of the extra joints on here, such as the joints over here, and how the back section with the 2 tailpipes can actually split in half like so. But besides that, there isn't much else to him, since he is a bike rather than a humanoid. But that definitely does make Kamen Rider Lazer very unique in terms of the riders in the series, and in terms of riders in general. But definitely does give him kind of his own cool factor as well. And there we go. Overall, Kamen Rider Lazer is very cool and very interesting. While he's not technically the first Kamen Rider to turn into a bike, that going to Kamen Rider XL, he is the first to turn into a full-on motorcycle, since Kamen Rider XL's bike form was basically just a more kind of hunched over version of his human form, with some wheels added, an engine block coming out of his chest, and his legs turning into basically jet boosters or exhaust pipes. So Lazer does stand out quite a bit, and it is interesting that for this series, instead of the main rider just having his own bike, they actually made his bike another rider. And that gives Lazer something interesting to him, in that he also does have a more unique transformation and kind of style compared to the other riders. And it is pretty cool that for this figure they actually managed to be able to have him transform into his level 1 form, which there was a little bit of doubt about, or rather before the release of the figure I wasn't entirely certain if he'd be able to, but I'm certainly glad that they did make that possible. And it is definitely cool that he can do that. So with that in mind, he also will have a further transformation that will also change things up quite a bit. So if you're a fan of Kamen Rider Lazer and have that level 1 body, and you also plan on picking up the additional add-on that will allow him to turn into his level 3 form, I can definitely recommend picking up this figure, because it's definitely very cool and a very unique take on a rider machine. So, next time I'll be reviewing the Giri Chanbara GACHAAN. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and or a comment, and subscribe to my channel to keep up with my latest videos. And for now, this is GACHAAN 50, riding off.